All right, here we go. Happy New Year's, everybody. This is our first Women in Leadership Networking event for 2026, and I am excited because I got my sister Robin Turner here with me to help us hit this new year running. Seriously, I am so grateful for her and her expertise in this arena, seriously, because we as women, we take on so many different things, and we are always concerned about everybody else but ourselves. And so because of that, we suffer from all kind of things that we stuff and we don't really deal with. So I think it's really, really important to talk about mental issues from a woman's perspective. And first of all, hey, Robin, hi.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you and
Oh,
just
wow.
excited.
I'm
Hey.
excited too. Thank you for agreeing to do this. We talked about this last month.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, so this has been a month in preparation. I did not do the networking event in December specifically because I know women are running around frantic trying to make sure that everybody is taken care of and this is done and
Mm-hmm.
that's done and the direct
The
decorations
busyness
are
of the
done.
holidays.
You
Yes.
know, all of that
Mm-hmm.
crazy, the crazy. But I wanted to, I'm definitely wanted to start the new year off in balance because that's what we
Mm-hmm.
need. We need balance,
Mm-hmm.
seriously. And for us, especially, we go through so many different changes as women.
We
You
wear
know,
so many hats. Yes,
we do.
absolutely.
We do. And not only do we do that in the natural, but physiologically, we've got
Mm-hmm.
hormones bouncing all over the place and,
Honey.
just things happening,
Yes.
just
Yes.
happening that we sometimes don't even have any control over.
Yep.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
we can take a step back and breathe and control what's going on. But for a large part of what we encounter as women, we really don't have control over. We really don't. How do
Right.
we navigate this space when it comes to our mental health? We talk about physical, but when it comes to our mental health, how do we navigate this?
I think as women, we forget to put ourselves first sometimes, right? It is, I need my cup full, then I can pour from a cup that's full versus I'm pouring from an empty cup. So we usually put ourselves on the back burner. So job takes priority. Our kids take priority. If you're married, your husband, your spouse, and then even trying to balance our friendships. So for us, it's always a balancing game. But I think
Mhm.
the thing to remember as women is it is okay to put you first and to even ask yourself the question. I'm in the habit of always saying, what do I need?
Mhm.
What is my body? What is my spirit? What is saying to me? What do I need in order to be okay? In order to pour out? In order to have some joy too, right?
Mhm.
And some
Mhm.
balance in my life. So first thing first is it's okay to put you first.
Mhm.
It's okay to ask yourself, what do I need? And then it's okay to prioritize, put on your calendar, because I know every girl got a calendar, or organizer. What is it that I'm going to do for myself this week, this month, that is going to prioritize filling my cup? And
That's
once you do that, now I'm not pouring from that empty place. I'm not giving out everything that I have and then
mhm.
I'm depleted.
Mhm.
I'm guilty of it. I know many women are guilty of it. But I got these things to do. But if you are not okay, then everything else is not going to get the full, that 100% or the fullness of you.
Right. What you're saying is so valid and important. I remember being a very, very young mother with two little kids
Mm-hmm.
together. My children were only a year and 2 months apart. So my son was 6 months old. I got pregnant again. And it was just like, oh my God. But I remember times, and this is truth, this is transparency, of sitting in my room, holding myself, just rocking, trying to maintain my sanity.
Yeah.
Because there was so much going on around me, and learning really, really early that I got to take care of me or I can't take care of them.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's the having a village. Like I had one daughter and I still needed a village. I
Mhm.
remember, I'll be transparent, being married, we moved to Atlanta. I was kind of going through some things. And in order to fill up, I needed some reprieve. I needed to, how can I relax? So I
Mhm.
literally had to tell him, look, on this day, I'm going to go, I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going for a
Mhm.
walk,
Mhm.
plan something for y'all because I need some me time. So
Yeah.
having either a village or a healthy support, especially if you're a mom, I tell parents all the time, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
Find the support. Raising my daughter after divorce, I had a really good friend and she was a single mom and we were talking and we ended up really, we say we co-parented together
Mm.
because we kept our daughters together. And then she'd be like, Tag, can you pick up? Yep, I got it. You go do what you got to do. Okay, Tag, I got it. And we would take turns. It is important to identify your village. Who is your support system? And being able to identify those women or relationships that you can trust if you're a parent, if you're a single parent, that you can trust so that you can prioritize you and get you some me time.
That's important. It is so vitally important. And you said something that's really, really valuable that I didn't even think about, and is, what do I need? What do
Yes.
I need? Because we're always asking everybody else what they need, and not asking ourselves, like, what is going to fulfill me at this point in time in life?
Exactly.
And when I say at this point in time, I mean in this moment. I'm not talking about like the season of life, like right this
What do I
moment.
need right
What do I
now?
need right this
Absolutely.
moment? Serious.
Absolutely. I'm a counselor and I work with kids, if you can't hear in the background, but I work with children and I absolutely love it. But my day can be high, my day can be low, depending on their emotions. Many of them have really high emotions, some of them have really low. And I have to be very intentional to look inward and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is my body telling me? Because I feel a little off. Oh, you just need to go in there, close the door, turn off the lights, and take a breather so that you can mentally relax your mind, restore yourself, replenish yourself, and then go back out. And when you talk about what do you need mentally just in the moment, sometimes it is just taking a breath,
Mhm.
taking a breather, doing some quiet your environment. Play some soft music. I love to hear the running of water, and I'll
Mhm.
play that in the background. And what that does psychologically is mentally stimulate the mind, but in relaxation.
Mhm.
And just
That's
giving yourself that time to relax and
yes.
then go back out. Sometimes we don't pause. We don't pause. Allow ourselves to mentally pause and say, what can I do? Because even if 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you would know, if only you know mentally how powerful just 5 minutes of a quick break, taking a deep breath, and then listening to the sound of something calming can shift your whole mood.
I am very big on just breathe. Just
Hmm.
breathe. And I have to tell myself that. That's why I say I'm very big on it. I had did a post early last month, and it was truth. It was my truth at that moment. I said that I felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster and I wanted to stop the ride and get off,
Yep.
because it was just like emotions were just running rampant, and I'm
Hmm.
not an overly emotionally stimulated person. So when
Hmm.
my emotions start going going like
Hmm.
whoa whoa, I'm like whoa whoa.
What's going on? Yes. Yes.
Seriously. So from my perspective, and I'm sure that there's ladies that have encountered this as well, like my emotions obviously went off track when my
Mhm.
husband transitioned, and
Right.
I was dealing with emotions that I had never dealt with before. All
Mhm.
right. The feeling of a void, the feeling of navigating without this other person. And I had to take a moment. Well, I called one of the mothers of the church, and I was just like, okay, how do I deal with this? Because I'm not
Mhm.
understanding what I'm going through. And I had to call someone, and this was really important. And I want you to touch on this. I called somebody that had walked in this sphere before. All right.
Mhm.
I love my pastors. They're together, they have not lost a spouse. They were not the ones that I needed to talk to at that moment. And I
Right.
think it's so important that when you're navigating something that you've not walked through before, that you connect with somebody that has some semblance of empathy for it. And here's the thing, we all are going to walk through our different situations differently,
Right.
because we process differently, we deal differently. But the most important advice she gave me was, Colette, process the moment. Don't try to process. Don't try to just rush past it. Cause I'm like, how do I get past this? I don't want to deal with this. I don't want
Yeah.
to feel this. Right.
Yeah.
She's like, process the moment. So touch on that a little bit, because that was invaluable for me. And I started
Yeah.
saying it's moment by moment. It's not day by day, so that I could deal with it.
And what you were going through was grief. And
Mhm.
sometimes, anytime there's hurt and pain, a lot of times we don't want to feel, we don't want to go through, especially if we're not a feeling, an emotional person.
Mhm.
I don't got time to deal with that. I got to keep
Mhm.
moving. And we're in a world, in a society where we're keep moving, keep moving. And when it comes to hurt and pain places, we don't want to pause to feel what we need to feel. And it's
Mhm.
so important when we are dealing with mental health, emotional health, social health. It is important to pause and allow yourself the time to feel what you need to feel,
Mhm.
and say, what is this? What am I feeling? And to sit in it, to process. I say a lot of times, we truly don't heal until you've allowed yourself to go through the process of feeling the pain, of navigating pain, of walking through. You all right over there? Okay. Of walking through and allowing yourself to feel the hurt of something, whether it be a loss, a relationship, or even just a season of that you may be in. It's okay to feel what you feel versus rushing past or numbing past. That's where drugs come in, and increasing addictive pattern of behavior comes in, because we don't want to pause to process what I'm experiencing in this moment. And then you said the other thing, connecting. I don't know what I'm going through. I'm feeling all these things. Who is that healthy support that I know that is going to give me words of wisdom, whether it be somebody that's walked through what I've walked through, or just someone of wisdom that I can talk to, and that will have enough empathy to sit with me in the space and to hear me and allow me to process in a safe space the hurt and pain that I'm feeling. And sometimes it's like they don't even need to say anything. I just need to get it out. I need to express it and to be able to process it with another person versus doing it internally. Whenever we try to handle a lot of things on our own internally, and I'm guilty of that. I've experienced my own trauma internally trying to work it out. Usually we can end up staying stuck,
Mhm.
because we're stuck in the mind, we're stuck in the emotions, we're stuck because we haven't allowed ourselves the opportunity or the space to
Mhm.
say, this is where I'm at. I don't know what I'm going through. Let me process this with someone else that has wisdom, that has walked this walk, so that I can have an understanding of what I'm experiencing, even if it's just to normalize it.
Yeah.
That's normal. You know, even
It's
women right
also very
now.
important to face it, you know,
Yes.
because grief comes in so many different forms. Like
Hmm.
mine was the transition of a person, but You can lose a job. You can lose a relationship. You can lose other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it will bring on that same overwhelming feeling of emotions
Yep.
that you have to deal with. And sometimes it's a matter of just facing it, because like you said, if you're just internalizing everything and just stuffing it, we do that really good.
Yep.
We just stuff it. We just stuff it and we just keep going. And before you know, there is an eruption and you
Yep.
don't know where it came from.
Yep. And that eruption can manifest in different ways. Like I said, addiction. I'm eating more. I'm sleeping more. I'm sometimes for some drinking, smoking, or I'm engaging of some risky behavior that's not normal for me to release the pain versus pausing to say,
Hmm.
what's going on with me? What
Mhm.
am I feeling? Or even if it's just a moment of, I need to cry. I've been pushing back these tears because I have to keep moving or I don't want to do it in front of nobody. So I need to mourn this. Even some people are mourning when we talk about depression. It's a grief sometimes of what I thought my life should be right now, or
That's true.
some opportunities or experiences. I'm not where I want to be. And some
Mhm.
people don't realize you're grieving the
Mhm.
expectations that you set and not allowing yourself to grieve or
Mhm.
express those feelings. You stay stuck in a depressive state. You stay stuck there because the stages of grief should lead you to a place of acceptance.
Mm.
You're going to go through some anger, you're going to go through some denial, well, what about this, and some bargaining, some depression. But what happens is there should now be, and you can go through those at any stage, right? I can be angry or I can be in a depressed state. There's no set method to it, but your final stage should be a place of acceptance.
Mm.
Now I've accepted this is where I am. I've accepted that the person is no longer here.
Mhm.
How do I move forward from here? Doesn't mean that the feelings won't come. Do I have the tools now to navigate when the feelings do come? Which means,
Mhm.
do I just need to allow myself to take a moment to breathe, to think
Mhm.
of the person in the positive and the good moments? Or do I now accept, okay, this is where my life is, but this is where I'm going? Because at some point, there has to be an acceptance to move forward.
Yes.
If we're not moving forward, then we're stuck in stagnation. And whenever we're stuck, that's when depression comes. That's
Mm.
when anxiety comes. That's where fear. And those are the natural things, but even those things are spiritual because we're not moving forward. And God even calls us to move forward. So whenever we're stuck in the same place, you're going to have some spiritual battles and then the natural expressions. And again, that shows up in anxiety. I'm feeling more anxious than normal because you've
Mhm.
not moved
Mhm.
mentally, emotionally, you're staying in the same place. We're always designed to be moving forward towards something.
How do we deal with the frustration of feeling stuck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I know for myself, I was so frustrated in my previous job that all I knew is I didn't want to be there. I just didn't want to be there, and it caused this frustration that just came out of me and like all around in my life. It was like
Mm-hmm.
suddenly I was frustrated with everything, and
Mm-hmm.
it was stemming from this one thing that just blossomed into so many other issues. How do we navigate the feeling of frustration? Sometimes it's like mine was my job. Sometimes it's with ourselves, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Especially as women, we'll look in the mirror. We don't like what looks back. And
Mm-hmm.
so now we're frustrated with ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
all of these different variables that we go through. How do we, I guess, get past being stuck in the
Mm-hmm.
frustration?
I think the frustration, all behavior and feelings are usually a flag for us. And that's what we have to
Mm.
identify. Feelings and behaviors are a red flag to say something is out of alignment. It's time to go back and reassess.
Okay.
And you have to pause long enough to give yourself the opportunity to reassess. Why am I feeling frustrated? Is it
Mm.
time for me to shift? Now
Mm.
I got to sit in that long enough. And then I'm always going to say, you got to go back to God and pray, because now the frustration in there could be a sign that, hey, it's time to shift and you're
Mhm.
staying stuck, which is why I'm frustrated. So I have to pause long enough, still long enough to pray. Number one, I'm always going to say, you got to pray, seek the Lord on it. But then also take that as a sign of what needs to shift in my life. Ask the questions of yourself. Is it time for me to shift here? Or
Mm.
am I frustrated just by a change? And this
Mhm.
is something that I need to allow my emotions to subside and make some decisions about.
Mhm.
Frustration may mean there's time to make some different decisions and choices.
Mm.
But I got to pause long enough, ask myself the question, why am I feeling frustrated? See, we can ask somebody else, be like, you know what? What's going on? Tell me what happened. But we don't always do that with ourselves. And
Mm.
I'm a journaler. So sometimes if I ask myself the question, I'm going to pray about the question and then answer the question. Is this me or is it that? Do I need to shift so that everything in the environment and my perspective can shift?
Mm.
So that I can now see this with a fresh eyes and and get out of my feelings about it?
Mhm.
Or is this not where I am is no longer in alignment with who I am today? Because
Mhm.
we shift, we evolved, and I need to start looking at other places and making some decisions about how I move forward.
Mhm.
So again, take those feelings and emotions as a time for you to pause and to assess. One of your good friends I met, Taffany, she does a yes,
Mhm.
um,
The yes
uh,
effect.
a yes effect workshop. And
Yes.
and I knew I was in a season of my life, because even as I'm a clinician, I asked myself, oh, whoa, whoa, something is needed here. And I'm going to pause long enough to say what's needed, assess, and then take the step to do something different. And so I went through it. And one of the things that literally I told her that blew me away was just the pause. The first step was the
Mm.
pause. And
Mm.
it really made me identify, and I'm a clinician, but it really made me identify, whoa, I haven't paused long enough, stilled myself. We're in a hyperactive, hyper stimulated society today.
Mhm.
We have been trained to go, and when we don't go, we train to look at TV programming, something that stimulates us mentally, physically, and emotionally. An
Mhm.
overstimulated population. ADHD is overdiagnosed. We're just overstimulated. I'll in the pause and literally turn off sitting long enough, journaling long enough to process, oh my goodness. It was simply that I hadn't been still in a while.
Mm.
Stillness in meditation and quiet time is so important, detrimental to who we are as human beings spiritually and as humans, because
Mhm.
that's the time when we're quiet that we
Mhm.
can really ask God and ourselves the questions that we need to ask ourselves to determine why I'm feeling what I'm feeling. Why am I behaving in a way that may not be normal for me? And now, what do I need? What needs to shift? Do I need to shift? Am I seeing things from a right perspective, or am I allowing my feelings and emotions to be leading me? Because if I can shift also how I see a thing, it will also shift how I feel and behave in a thing, right? So there
Mm.
was a time, and we talked about jobs. I remember there was a time in a job I was getting frustrated, and I'm like, Lord, is it time for me to move? I'm feeling something. I'm feeling a little frustration, and the Lord showed me you're in your feelings about some things, Robin.
Mm.
Calm yourself. Relook at this. Reassess your why you're here.
Mhm.
Okay, this is why I'm here. And as I begin to see and understand my why, shift my perspective and how I saw it, it shift how I engaged the
Mm.
job. And then when it was time for me to move, I was at peace about the movement, not in
Mhm.
frustration, not about in my feelings about it. I knew, oh, this is the divine aligned time to shift. Now I need to start making some decisions around that. So
Perspective is
pause.
is very, very important. How you view a situation, how you even view yourself.
Self.
You know, It is definitely key in how you move forward. You and I are both women of faith, but I
Mhm.
also understand that some of the ladies that may be watching or may see this may not be from a faith-based perspective. You still have to take the time for reflection.
Yes.
You still have to pause and reflect on, okay, how did I get here? that's
Yep.
that's one question that I think is really, really important, because we normally don't get to that frustration place overnight. It's a
Absolutely.
buildup.
Yep.
It's a buildup. And so for me, it's like, how did I get here? Now, yes, because like you, I'm a woman of faith. Well, I didn't pray about it.
I'll move before or am in my feelings
I
about it.
told everybody I was leaving. It was,
Mhm.
a couple of years ago, and it was just like December 31st, I am out. Okay?
Yep.
I'm out. Right?
There are certain
And
things
I didn't.
some things you just know. I know.
But here's the key. Here's the key. And I'll never forget this aha moment. It was September 2023. I was at a retreat, not my own, someone else's. And I'm laying in bed, 4 o'clock in the morning, and just, processing just some different things that, they had caused us to be looking at internally that, would cause where we were at that point in time. And crystal clear, I heard the Lord say, you told everybody you were leaving December 31st. How come you haven't asked me?
Oh, wow.
And my relationship with God is such that ain't no need to fake the funk, right? Let me just tell you just how I feel, because you already know. I said, because I didn't want you to tell me to stay.
Mm.
I had already
Mhm.
preconceived and made up in my mind, yeah, I'm out.
Mhm.
I'm over it. I'm tired. I'm out, right? And all he said was, trust me. Trust me. I did not leave that job. That was September 2023. I did not leave that job until September. Oh my God, just thought about that. September 30th, 2025.
But yep. The following
But
year.
because of the perception and the shift of trust me, so my frustration shifted. I wasn't
Yep.
frustrated anymore. Now it's like, okay, I have purpose for being here. If you're telling me to trust you and I can't leave yet, then there's a purpose for me being here. So let me fulfill that purpose.
Absolutely.
I can go.
And that shifting of perspective shifted everything,
It did.
right? And
It did.
and again, pausing long enough to ask the questions. What do I need? Where do I want to go?
Mhm.
What is the plan? Writing it down
Mm.
and then taking action. A lot of times we allow fear to get in the way. I know fear was a big thing for me. Fear of, well, what if this don't work out? Or what if this happens? Or what if? Here's the thing, write the vision, make it plain, journal that thing, write it out, create a plan. The more you don't move, the more it leaves space for mental and emotional anxiety, depression, mental chaos.
Mm.
Because if I should be moving, I'm not. So therefore, it leaves room for all these other things, frustration to start happening, all these other things to start happening in my mind. And I have not actually released that thing. That's why a tool for I tell a lot of women writing things down. Write it down, put it on the calendar, create. I know I don't believe in the whole, it's the new year, new thing, but I do believe you have to write down, what do I want to accomplish this month, or what do I want to
Mhm.
accomplish by this time, and begin to take some steps towards those things. Because as you do that, you'll start to see a shift in your perspective, a relief, a reduction of anxiety,
Mm.
a decrease in the depressive feelings,
Mm.
because now I'm moving or I'm taking steps. I know
Toward.
where I'm going, I know my why, and I know what I'm working towards. And also for those when we do get stuck, right? And it's like, I'm stuck, I don't even know, I don't got it in me. Then, okay, so then what do I need? Do I need a therapist? Do I
Mm,
need to talk to someone to help me to process where I am, to help me to identify how I move forward, someone to give me the tools, to give me insight into where I am? Because even sometimes, just as a clinician, me normalizing, okay, that's normal to feel that way, blows a person mind. You mean this is normal? What I'm feeling right now? What's going through my mind? That's normal? That is normal. The key is we don't stay there. So we
right.
process, we feel what we feel, we allow ourselves to grieve. And as you grieve naturally, right? Meaning like I'm not pushing it away, I'm allowing the
Mhm.
emotions to come up. I give myself permission to be in the moment, to feel what I need. I use the term permission because a lot of times we as women, I can't do that right now. I don't have time. I can't,
Mm,
so and so needs me. I said I have to do A, B, and C. So permission means I'm allowing myself to do this right now.
right.
And when you do that, oh my good, there's a peace that comes and then clarity comes,
Mm,
right? Then there's clear on my why, there's clear on my direction. And again, I have to reiterate, it reduces anxiety because we have a world right now where there's a lot of people struggling with anxiety, anxiousness,
so much chaos around
so
us.
much chaos. And so to reduce some of that pausing and then asking the self, what do I need? And then if I can't do it on my own, who do I need? Who do I need? Who is the support? Is it a therapist? Sometimes for us as women, we have to also be careful because things like depression and anxiety could also be things like hormone changes, physical changes that we're going through that we can feel it. I'm sleeping later. I feel like I'm tired all day long. I feel like I'm anxious. Some of that can also be not necessarily mental health, but physiological health. What's going on with my body? I haven't paused long enough to ask that question. Hey,
Mm,
so even as a clinician, I always tell women before we start diagnosing anxiety, depression, all these things, go get go. When was your last physical? When was the last time you had your blood drawn? So that you can see where your hormones are, so that you can see if there's some things, chemical imbalance in the body, or if there's something going on with your body that is
mhm,
actually causing some of these symptoms.
mhm,
So even physical health is so important to take care of, or even to say, when was the last time I go to the doctor? Or do I need to go? And am I giving myself the time, a lot in the time to say, I'm going. Let me make the appointment, put it on my calendar. Because sometimes for me, if I don't put it on the calendar, then
it
I
doesn't
I,
happen.
I keep moving. But once I put it on that calendar, then I've already told everything in my life to pause. I have to do this today.
You
This
know,
is the
something I
priority.
think also is really important to understand, it's okay to say I need help.
Yes.
It's okay to say I need help. We try to juggle so much and we don't feel that we can say, you know what, I need some help with this.
Hmm.
It's just too much. It's You're overwhelmed, but you're still trying to press. No, I need some help.
I need some. Yep.
I need some help,
Yep.
and that's okay. It's not a weakness. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't take away from your womanhood.
Yeah.
I am superwoman, hear me roar. No, that makes you superwoman because you have enough insight to say, I need some help.
Yep. And asking who is the right help
Who's the right help?
who's the right help?
Right.
Because
You
everybody
don't
ain't the
want
right
somebody
help.
just to co-sign whatever it is that you're
You
trying to
don't you
write.
don't need
You
somebody to
need
keep you stuck. For
no.
me, I know I'm the kind of person, I have my friend warriors that are, oh nope, friend, you've been here too long. Let's get up. I need that. Oh,
Mm,
you've been here too long. It's
mhm,
time to get up.
mhm,
And then there are those that, I know, like, what, we need to be in this moment. So who who you identify as your help is just as important as saying I need help. Where I'm
Absolutely.
going for help. Like I said, is this something I need to go to counseling for? Is this something I need to go to the doctor for? Or
Mhm.
is this that my sister friend that I just need to talk to, or that woman of wisdom, or that
Mhm.
friend that has wisdom to say, okay, you've been here long enough.
Mhm.
It's time to go. Or let me normalize where you are so that you don't think there's something wrong with you because of where you are.
So many of us walk through so many situations and we think that we're the only
Only
person in
one.
the whole wide world that has ever walked through this situation or had these feelings. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so not true. You know, like you said, what you may be feeling may be perfectly normal, you know, but you just haven't had time to sit and process. That's why I'm like, just breathe.
Yeah.
Take a moment and breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Change the atmosphere. Because if all you're feeling is the chaotic atmosphere around you, then you're chaotic in the midst of it too.
Yeah.
Because it's stimulating you into chaos.
Yes. Which again, and that's that anxiety.
Yeah.
Why I'm feeling anxious. What's happening? I'm all over the place, and that's a little bit of that anxiety. Um, Again, I think I can't reiterate enough in this time and climate of the world that we're in. Pausing, turning off the TV, going for a walk, silencing the noise,
Mhm.
being still, even if it's just sitting,
Mhm.
lighting a candle, taking some deep
Take a
breaths,
bath.
take a
Just,
hot bath,
yeah.
journaling. But also another thing is going back to what brings you joy, right? So
Mhm.
if we don't also do those things, I say this, we were all created with gifts and talents, right? Sometimes those things that bring us joy are the things that we also need to go tap back into.
Mhm.
For me, I love to dance, right?
Mhm.
So if I sometimes even just dancing stimulates, gets that dopamine going to the brain, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden my whole mood is shifted. I'm in a good place. I've been
Okay.
dancing, right?
Yeah.
It's bringing back those things that restore you, that refill you. Again, we can put ourselves on the back burner, and then we don't identify what are the things that brought me joy. You did a conference, and one of the things you said is go back to when you were a child.
Yeah.
There's a little kid, I know clinically, still a little kid in each of us that we have to tap into.
Mhm.
If not, it's all work, it's all responsibilities, and then we get caught up in this mundane state of being and in
Yes.
life. So now it's what are the things, am I doing enough of the things that also refuel me? So for instance, arts and crafts, if you are creative, what are you doing with that? That is something that is going to refill you. Give yourself permission, find a class, go paint, take a girlfriend, we going painting.
Mhm.
Something that is going to refill you. If you're a person that loves to dance, if you love to host, if you love to cook, have
Mhm.
you been filling your cup by doing the things that also bring you joy?
Mhm.
uh Go ahead.
Having fun.
Fun.
I am a huge water person. I love the beach. It's my solace. It's my place of
Yes.
peace, right? Anytime something really traumatic happens in my life, it's like, okay, Lord, I need to get to some water. Okay. Because it's just where I connect. It's just how I am. But last year I went to Costa Rica with a friend of mine. It was a business trip, but during it, we were scouting out some locations for something we have planned. And we went to the beach, which, okay, you know me, I love the beach. But we sat, it was three of us, we sat in this water and just allowed the waves to come up and throw us back. And we played and had fun.
Fun.
And
Hmm.
it registered something within me because, as much as I love the beach and it's just a place of peace, when was the last time that I had fun?
And that is important for your mental health. Fun, like we teach children. I work at a school, I teach children. I have to always communicate to teachers. They're a kid. Make learning fun.
Yeah, make it
And
fun.
if it's something that's boring, then make sure you take a mental fun break. We call it a wiggly break because they're children.
Something
We
silly. Just do
Something
something silly.
silly. And here's the thing, there's an inner child in each of us. We cannot lose
Mhm.
that. We
Mm,
cannot lose that. That is the thing that replenishes, restores your soul, your
mhm,
mind, your whole being. So
mm.
sometimes you have to, if you can't identify, well, what brings me joy, that means you haven't done it long enough. That means it's been so far removed from you. You've been in the mundane, the grinds of life that now I don't even know what that is anymore. Well, now we really
Exactly.
need to pause
Yeah.
to say, well, what was it when I was a child that I
Mhm,
loved to do? It is
mhm.
never, we are never too old to have fun. I
To
don't care if
have
you're 60, 70. Those things keep you young. They keep your heart beating. They keep your mind stable. Those are the things that also restore you and replenish you mentally, emotionally, and physically. They are just as important as air you breathe for your
mhm,
mental and emotional well-being. Schedule it, put it on your calendar. Sometimes during even through school, I use school as an example. We have breaks in between because we know kids have to have breaks. It cannot all be work, 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 work.
mhm.
It is not healthy for them. We have to
Right.
pause and let them go run and play. If not, they are technically not learning anything. They're going
Mm,
through the motions. That is the same way for us as adults. We
mhm,
can go through the motions of life. I get up, I go to work, I get home, I watch TV, I go to bed. You can get caught up in the cycle of that if you do not be intentional about what am I doing for fun?
yeah.
What does that look like for me?
Yeah.
And who do I incorporate in my fun?
In my fun. Yeah. Who can I
Yeah,
be my silly
who can
self
I
with?
be my
No
silly,
judgment. I just need to be
goofy?
silly.
Absolutely. It is so needed for our mental, emotional. Even now, it's so funny. We're teaching kids social emotional health, but we have to remember that as adults.
Mhm,
Social emotional health, having those friends, and we know as adults we don't need many, but just a few quality people that we can just go hang out and have a good time with is so needed, even for your mental health.
I love this. This has been
Hmm.
so good, so good. The chat has been blowing up as well. People are relating to this.
Yeah.
I think it's just so important. Make it a goal. This is January. Like, Robin said, make it a goal. Put it on your calendar. Make it a goal. If it isn't but once a month, I'm going out and I'm gonna have fun.
Yes. And I think sometimes people associate it with cost. Let me tell you, you can go get some paintbrushes, go in your house. They even have the line paint where it tell you what
Okay.
color to paint. You it tell you what color to paint. You will be amazed at how much joy you get. You can have a
Absolutely.
game night at your house and
Hmm.
invite people over. These are the things that don't cost much, just your
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
and your
Hmm.
intention. Put it on your calendar this year to give yourself permission to pause and to say, what do I need? What am I feeling? And now, what are the steps that I need to take to
Hmm.
move?
And I'm hearing one other thing, one last thing, and I've heard it repeatedly since this conversation. No is a complete sentence.
Come on.
It is okay to say no. If
Hmm.
you're weary, you're burnt out, and people are pulling at you from every direction, it is okay to say, no, I can't. I can't.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be okay. This is the key. They're going to be okay. You're going to keep pushing yourself to burn out, to mental collapse, to exhaustion. And then when you are in that state, they're going to go to the next one
Yeah.
and they're going to burn them out because you got a lot of people that's very needy and they just keep pulling and they
Hmm.
suck all the strength out of you. It is okay to say no.
It is a
Not,
boundary.
not today.
Boundaries
Can't do it
are
today.
healthy for your mental health. That is
Yeah.
called boundaries. Boundaries are needed for you and for them. I tell people it teaches people how to treat you when you can say no. And they'll learn to receive your no. And if they don't learn to receive your no, then they're not supposed to be there anyway. So boundaries are also important for your mental and emotional health.
It is
Absolutely.
very important, very important. Well, I hope this has been very helpful. I believe that it has. Ladies, tell your friends, tell your girls, like, go back and watch this, because we're a sisterhood. We want to hold
Yeah.
each other up, okay? And so we need to make sure that we're accountable for our mental stability. There is
Yes.
a reason why when you get on the plane, they tell you to put your mask on first and then assist the next person. All
Right.
right. Because if
Right.
you pass out, you can't help anybody.
Right. You dying, but giving other people oxygen. Right.
Put your mask on first. Take care of you this year. Make it a priority. In the midst of everything, make it a priority, okay, to take care of you. My sister, thank you.
Thank you. This has been a pleasure. Thank you always.
So much. So much. I hear you. Pause is my word for 2026. I got you, girl. That's powerful. All right, ladies, we will see you next month. Thank you so much for tuning in and share. Take care.